Hey everybody, Ethan here with Standing Stone, and this is the new DT Systems SPR 5300. I'm going to walk you through some of the features that this collar has, as well as give you a breakdown of my opinion of the unit after using it the last couple of years training dogs and guiding hunts in South Dakota. If you have a new puppy that you are looking for their first collar, if you have an old collar that you need to replace, or if you're a gear junkie and you just like new, this is the right video for you. Before we jump into the review, I do want to mention we're sponsored by DT Systems, and I did help develop this collar. That being said, I'm proud of what we created, and I'm excited to tell you all about it. I'm going to break down the things that are on the box. Let's just talk the stats, break it down in a checklist here. This new unit has a 2-mile range. It's expandable up to 4 dogs. You have nick, continuous, vibrate, and control of the beeper all on the transmitter. It has 24 levels of stimulation, and it has an antenna that says DT Systems patented max range 360, so the antenna actually runs through the collar strap. As a whole, this unit is awesome. It is listed as a pro unit, and that doesn't mean that you can't use it if you're not a pro. It just means that it's really good, okay? As we jump into the unboxing portion of this, I want to show you what it comes with. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Not a lot of extra garbage in here. You've got your transmitter. You have an antenna. Once you screw the antenna on, the installation portion is complete. Next, you have your collar. All right. And you've got a little instruction manual and a warranty card. Make sure and fill this out. DT Systems warranty is fantastic. Finally, you do have a charger. Ta-da! And then you have a splitter, a test light, and a lanyard. We're going to leave those things in here for now. One of the cool things about the charger, as I'm putting this away, is this collar upgraded to 5-volt charging, which allows for quick charging. So this collar is typically charged in approximately 3 to 4 hours, where previous models took about 12 hours. Now, as we jump into the features on the collar itself, let's talk about the functionality buttons on the front here. You have nick, continuous, vibrate, and then you can control your beeper. The beeper, we'll start with that here at the bottom. This is found, and it is in a fixed location on the collar strap. It has 3 functions. You can run it in run mode, you can run it in point mode, or you can just hold the button down for locate mode. That's going to beep until you find where your dog's at or you let the button go. The run mode, it's going to beep all the time, and then it's actually going to beep faster once the dog stops and stands still. They could be taking a poop, but most of the time it means that they're on point. If you get into point mode, it's not going to beep at all until the dog stops to stand still on point or, again, to go to the bathroom. That's the preferred method for me to run the collar on dogs while I'm hunting. I don't really want to listen to it beep all day long. I just want to know where they're at when they actually lock up on point. Now, there's a lot of pushback from folks, or you will hear pushback from folks, that the beepers actually scare birds. Literally every bird that I killed this year was on a, not every, okay? We'll go with a lot of birds that were killed this year were over dogs that the beepers were actively going off, and we have either 1 or 2 other dogs backing with more beepers. I don't think that it really affects things as much as people think, unless maybe you were to get on to public ground where everybody runs beepers and the birds get smart to it. So there's the potential, but I wouldn't worry about it too much. As we move up the ladder here, you have the vibrate mode. Now, this is a functionality that is huge for us. If you follow any of our training videos or our training program, you know that we use vibrate a lot. So having access to that on this pro unit is fantastic. You go up here, you've got continuous stimulation, and then you have your nick button. Depending on the situation, one or the other of those is going to be more beneficial. But now, if we turn this sideways here, you can see some little writing here on the edge. This is walking you through the jump features. Now, this is a technology that they pulled from some of their other units, but it allows you to press 2 buttons together to raise the stimulation to a predetermined higher level. So if we have our continuous set at a 5 and we need to go to a 10, we can just hold the top 2 buttons together. And then maybe we need to go to a 15. So you have your second jump here. And then maybe to a 20, you have your third jump here. Now, we don't have to use these jumps all that often, but it is nice, and especially once you know your dog, to be able to set a standard working level and then be able to jump to a level that they might be able to listen in a slightly higher distraction situation without having to adjust levels, okay? As you go to this side, you have your up and down buttons to adjust the levels of stimulation, and then you have your selector between 4 dogs. Yes, 4. I know that seems like a lot. You may not have 4 dogs at home, but what it's going to give you the ability to do is actually switch between 1 or 2 dogs, or even 3. Maybe if you have the 4th, fantastic, you can handle them all on one collar. Me personally, I don't run 4 dogs very often in the field at a time, but I do have the ability to have 2 dogs collared and ready to go and switch back and forth between dogs 1 and 2, and then have dogs 3 and 4 also collared up in the trailer, ready to go for easy switching at the next field or for the next drill. As you rotate through these, you have the ability then to maintain settings between the different collars. This is a huge bonus. I have a dog like Thunder who doesn't need a very high level. I can set him at as a 3 to 5 per se. And then I have Muddy, his mom, that needs slightly higher levels. She's going to be more in the 10 to 15 range. But as I switch back and forth between Thunder and Muddy, I don't have to mess with settings on the fly. They're already pre-programmed to whatever you set them for as you're putting the collars on the dogs, and then they maintain those. Now, the other cool thing is, if you shut them off, turn them back on, they're still going to retain those settings. So if you only have 2 dogs at home, once you set this, it's going to be ready to go for you each and every time you use the collar. All right, so I've walked through some of the features that you could just read on the box or go to DT Systems website and read what are the features of the new 5300. But what I want to give you is my direct feedback on this specific unit over the last couple of years of testing and how it's been beneficial, and maybe a few of the things that could still be slightly better or you may run into as a hiccup. First and foremost, I'm going to say there aren't a lot of hiccups, so I'm going to get that out of the way. It is a bigger transmitter, and there are a few more buttons. That's going to take a little bit of time to learn, but any new unit is going to take time to learn. So as long as you're okay for a slight change, for all of the added benefits that I'm just about to talk about, then I would look past that. The slightly larger transmitter can kind of get in the way, but overall, it's very easy to use, and it's easy to tuck into a pouch or a pocket, and then you're good to go. All right, so now I want to get into the real world examples of how this collar worked for me and the things that I found most beneficial. A big thing is battery life, okay? Everybody asks, how long does it last? How often do I have to charge it with any unit that they're getting? This one specifically, my actual usage of the collar. We started hunting approximately 10 o'clock. We quit hunting approximately 5 o'clock, and I would charge the collars and transmitter up, hunt for 3 full days, and then in between groups, I would charge them again. They never died. They never completely drained out to where I couldn't use them, and I was able to hunt 3 full days. Yes, 3 full days without charging them. So battery life overall is great. Now, that being said, batteries do lose power over time. I've been using this unit for 2 years and have had no issues with my personal unit. If the batteries wear out after a while, getting them replaced is also something that you can do. I found having 4 dogs and having them able to be collared up and ready to go is very helpful. I typically only run 2 dogs at a time. I used 2 methods. I either used the top 2 buttons across to switch back and forth between dogs so that I could do it without having to look which color is which. I just knew this dog and this dog, or I used the buttons on the left or the buttons on the right to switch back and forth. Typically speaking, I would use 2 dogs at a time in the field. If you only run 1 dog at a time, that's pretty simple. You just select the dog and move on. The next piece that I found extremely beneficial is the beeper functionality. I can find dogs using the locate function while I'm running them on point mode. Some of the previous models actually did clear your point or run setting, and this one, they have actually fixed that to where it's no longer a problem. Once you set the dogs on point mode, which is how I would hunt with them, it doesn't beep at all until they lock up. Then I can hit locate and go, I can't quite, oh, there they are. And then let go of the locate button and they continue hunting and they're still on point mode. The next thing that I found that's very beneficial and important for not only dog training, but hunting is the reliability and the consistency of the signal being sent to the dog. When I push the button, I know that it's getting there. You may have heard previously that I said 2-mile range, and you might be thinking, I don't have a dog that's going to be 2 miles away from me. I don't need that much range. But that range is set up on a flat, open area, okay? In a situation where you have any type of interference, if you hunt on or near mountains or heavy woods or thick cover of any kind, different units can have different levels of interference. This one has very, very minimal to no issues with that at all. I saw no times that I was pushing the button that I didn't know that I was getting a response to the dog. And if I ever have a question, I'd always hit the locate button. Oh, okay, the signal is sending there. I'm probably just not on a high enough level. And then we can make adjustments for that specific dog in that situation. The additional power and antenna from this transmitter utilizing the 360 technology of the antenna running through your collar strap. So just a pro tip, do not cut this strap. We actually take them and feed them through the collar. And once you get that buckled, you've got a D loop here that you can feed this back through. And once you tuck it in there, the dog can't chew on it and it's out of the way. So this is how I would run the units on the dogs as we're training or hunting. The last piece is this collar strap allows for the collars to fit on very small dogs. We typically try and hunt our dogs fairly young. So usually they're hitting the field with us between 5 and 6 months old if they have that opportunity in the fall. And this now fits on even the smallest of necks. We've even had some other breeds in training, some Brock Francais or some Brittany's that are pretty small, and we have no issues with fit anymore with the new 5300. All right, everybody, that's all I've got for the new SPR 5300. I hope if you're looking for a new unit, this video helps you. Please check them out at standingstonesupply.com. As always, I'm the guy with the pink gun. We'll see you in the next video.